Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I have yet another perfume release to talk about in this video. I know that my past, I don't even know how many videos, my past 3 videos have all been dedicated reviews to brand new perfume releases, but they just won't stop. And the worst thing about it is that all these new releases that are coming out, they're all my taste. They're all sweet, gourmandy type of perfumes that are right up my alley. Obviously you guys know that, so you keep DMing me these amazing fragrances, and every time I find out about it, I'm like, add to cart. Speaking of, I just did my Sabrina Carpenter Sweet Tooth Caramel Dream, and in the video where I talked about it, I was kind of explaining it through the body mist because that's all I could find in store, and I actually ended up ordering it online, and I told you I would because how could I not? This freaking perfume is a literal chocolate bar, and I feel like this one is even more realistic than the pink one, and it is so good, so good. I already talked about this, so if you missed the video where I talked about Caramel Dream, I will link it up in the cards, but I will also talk about the actual perfume in a future fragrance haul, so keep a lookout for that. But okay, so today we are talking about the brand new flanker to the Tease line. This is the brand new Victoria's Secret Tease Coco Soiree. Now, I don't know about you, but for a gourmand fragrance lover, Coco Soiree sounds amazing to me. I really love the packaging of this, the colorway with the brown and pink. I've always loved brown and pink together. It's just so cute, and it's kind of giving me fall vibes, packaging wise. It's just very on brand with the upcoming fall season. So yeah, if you want to know everything about this, we'll dive into the notes. I'm going to kind of compare it to the other Tease flankers as well as the original. Before we get into it, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn your post notifications on, and let's get started. Okay, on initial spray, I actually really like this. I really wasn't a huge fan of Tease Candy Noir, which I think was the most recent release until this one. Okay, scratch that. That was a total lie because I just looked it up right now, and turns out that the most recent Tease flanker out is Tease Sugar Fleur, which I actually just looked up, and it looks freaking amazing. There is bubblegum and caramel in the notes, so the notes sound really good. I don't know if I've smelled this in store, but if I haven't, I definitely need to because it sounds definitely like a scent I would love. So did I just discover a new scent? And I know a lot of people loved Candy Noir, but I never did, and that's because it had too much patchouli. I don't know if anybody picked that up. I know people were obsessed with it, so maybe not many people will agree with me on this, but to me, it had too much patchouli, and the reason why I didn't like it is because I never liked YSL's Mon Paris, and to me, Candy Noir and Mon Paris were very similar scents because of that patchouli aspect. They had all those berries and just those sweet fruits in there, but I felt like the patchouli kind of just overtook the whole entire fragrance. Okay, so after looking at the notes of Candy Noir, it turns out it doesn't even have patchouli in the notes, which is crazy to me because it 100% smells like patchouli. If you have the scent, even if you love it, I'm sure you can vouch for me that it smells like patchouli 1000%. I mean, that's literally the main thing that I smell in the whole thing, but it's just so weird to me that it actually doesn't have patchouli, but trust me, it totally smells like it, and that is why it throws me off. I never was into Candy Noir, unfortunately, so when I saw this Tease, I'm like, considering what they've been doing with all the patchouli, I was kind of afraid that this would also have that in it, but I was pleasantly surprised. And to me, out of all the flankers, I'm not sure how many Tease flankers there are at this point. I know there is obviously Candy Noir, which like I said, I'm not a fan of, and then I know there is also Tease Creme Cloud. I actually really liked Creme Cloud. This one kind of has a summery vibe to it, almost like in a sunscreen way, and it's very sweet. It feels very airy and up in the clouds, so Creme Cloud is the perfect name for this, and I do really like it. It's not a bad scent, but I'm not going crazy over this one, and I don't think that that one is anything relating to the original. And same thing for Candy Noir. It smelled nothing like the original to me. This is, I feel like, the first Tease flanker that I've smelled that actually smells a good amount similar to the original Tease, and I think that's why I actually really like this one. But the only but I have with this fragrance is if you're going into it thinking the Coco Soiree is gonna be very much there, like that cocoa aspect, I'm telling you this right now, it's not, unfortunately. It's slightly there, and we're gonna get into it, but it's not as strong as you would want it to be, especially considering it's called Coco Soiree. Like, you would hope that would be the most prominent aspect of this perfume, and it's not. So the note composition in here is actually pretty simple. The only 3 notes that are in here are mocha, wild berries, and freesia petals. I feel like that freesia petals is kind of randomly thrown in there, like one of these things is not like the other. Like, how can you have mocha and wild berries, like all these sweet notes, and then you throw in freesia petals? So that kind of threw me off. Luckily, personally, I don't really smell the freesia in here. I feel like freesia is something I can normally pick out because it just gives every fragrance like this very fresh kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's a very, very floral type of scent in a very fresh way. I don't smell that at all in here, so I don't know. I don't know about that note. This is so nice. The berries that are in here is gonna be 90% of what you smell. So you get about 90% berries and maybe I wouldn't even say 90. I would say 95% berries and 5% cocoa. So if you're going into this thinking, oh, Coco Soiree, that's gonna be like a chocolatey cocoa sort of version to the original, it's not. The cocoa factor is, like I said, very, very, very mild in here. You can like barely smell it, but especially when it dries down, I don't smell the cocoa whatsoever. I think the reason why I love this so much is because I'm obsessed with berries, so I'm not totally mad at the fragrance itself. I am mad that it's called Coco Soiree. It should be called Berry Soiree with the hint of cocoa. Like, that would be a better name for it because it would actually describe what this smells like. This has nothing to do with cocoa, and they really ran with that because they made the whole packaging brown with the outside packaging as well. Like, how can you put this much emphasis on the cocoa factor and that is barely even there? So I get why people are disappointed in this fragrance because it's just not giving what it's supposed to give, but the actual perfume itself, like the scent itself, is actually really nice. Like, that berry aspect is so good. It's almost like the original Tease, which I freaking love. This is one of my most complimented scents to date. I have hundreds of fragrances. I've had almost over 300 fragrances at one point. I've had so many. I wear so many. And this is still, to this day, ever since the moment I discovered it, it is to this day my most complimented scent ever. Especially by my husband. My husband loves this, and he's probably biased because I wore this when we first met, so every time I wear it he associates it with that feeling. But like, the scent is phenomenal. Like, it is so sexy, it's so feminine, it's everything you would want out of a fragrance. I feel like if I could recommend one perfume to every woman out there, it would be Tease. This is just, it's that girl. And Coco Soiree has a lot of the DNA of the original, so I really like that about it, but you just threw in a ton of berries, and I'm barely even gonna mention that cocoa factor just because, like I said, it is very much lacking in it. This kind of also reminds me of Ari, like Ariana Grande's Ari. It's in that realm of fragrances. Like, it almost is giving that celebrity fragrance vibe that a lot of celebrity perfumes have. You know what I'm talking about, which I love. I'm not gonna lie, I've always really loved that. I know it's always considered to be super basic and obviously not unique because there's so many scents that smell like it, but I've always liked it. Now, an aspect about this that is probably even worse than the fact that it barely has any cocoa is the fact that it does not last more than 10 minutes. It does not last at all. The original Tease has always lasted for me. I could wear this scent and it just infuses itself onto my skin for days. It lasts forever. I'm not sure about all the other flankers. The Creme Cloud, I mean, I only have a little body mist of it, but I actually do feel like this one lasts. And Candy Noir, I'm not sure, but I feel like because of that patchouli factor, it probably lasts a while. This does not last at all. That is the worst thing about this fragrance. Considering how good the actual smell is, I wish it did last longer. I actually wore this yesterday layered up with Cloud Pink, and first of all, that combo is to die for. It is such a powerful combo. It smells so good, and the sweetness and the berries in here just enhance the sweetness of Cloud Pink so much more. It's such a good combo. Definitely try it out if you have both of the scents, but by the end of the day, or not even by the end of the day, but just a few hours into it, all I could smell was Cloud and like maybe 2% of this. It was just non-existent. Cloud Pink literally ate this fragrance up, but I have also worn it alone and it barely lasts, so it's just a very poor performing scent. I have my own ways to make it last, so although it doesn't last on its own really well, You could obviously moisturize, the Vaseline trick. I have an entire video of how to make your scents to last, so I will include that up here in the cards because that's a very important video. You can get a scent even like this that barely lasts an hour to last you at least 4 to 5 with all those tips and tricks that I have in that video. So there's definitely ways to work with the longevity, but just right off the bat, on its own, it does not perform. That's basically my entire spiel on Coco Soiree. Do I love it? Yes. Is it giving what it's supposed to give with the cocoa factor? No. I think that's gonna be the last new scent that I pick up for a while. At least I hope, if you guys don't keep DMing me with these amazing perfumes. But I think I'm gonna chill for a minute. I will be doing a video right after this one that is gonna be kind of diving into all of the new fragrance launches right now, because there's a lot more obviously that I haven't even bought and stuff that is not even released yet, and I want to kind of go over all of them because there's a lot of really good like promising fragrances that are gonna be coming out, which is kind of bad for my wallet, but they look really good. So we're gonna talk about all those fragrances. I'm gonna let you guys know which ones I'm thinking about buying once they do release, which ones I don't really care to buy. So stay tuned for that video. Let me know if you did try this Coco Soiree, what you guys thought about it. I did post it on my community tab, and there was a lot of negativity surrounding this. So I know not a lot of people are super happy with, you know, the name and why it doesn't really smell like the name. So I already know there's probably not gonna be a ton of people that love it because of that, but I mean, I think we can agree that the scent itself is nice, right? Like, is anybody actually hating on the scent? The scent? Like, I know we hate the fact that it doesn't smell like Coco Soiree, but I like the scent. So anyways, that is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!